It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy. Coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, go, go. Dig, dig, dig. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Rusty. Yeah, Rusty Ball, NASCAR Media Group. You mentioned earlier Talladega and Martinsville. Just wondering if you could talk a little bit. You're obviously pretty good at Talladega, well, all of them, but Talladega recently you got a win. You talk about going in that race, and is that a race where you just cross your fingers, all the drivers cross their fingers, and what's it like, the race at Talladega and the Chase? I mean, it's got to be scary.
Well, I feel like it's a race we can win. So, you know, I like going to that race for that reason, but at the same time, I'm always looking for the big one, just like everybody else, or looking to try to figure out how I can stay out of it, which I've given that up. You know, these days you just go into it and you think, you know, hey, this is a track we can win at. If it happens, it happens. These days there's so little that you can do. You're three wide, stacked up, you know, however many rows deep, and you're just getting beat to death down the straightaway by the guy behind you, the guys on the inside or out. If you're in the middle, it's just bam, 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 and you know you're just trying to hold on straight. And if you could get inside that car with the other guy, you just beat him. But that's not the case, and I've tried talking sense into, you know, people along the way, and it doesn't do any good. So you just ride it out, you know, and you just hope that you're not in it. That's all you can do, you know. I think that a lot of it is in NASCAR's hands to you know, sort of step in when it's getting out of control. But obviously from that tower and the cameras, you obviously can't see it because it's out of control pretty early and pretty often. And you just hold on tight. And if you're in it, you're in it.
Question right here, and then we'll go to Jim.
Hey, Jeff. Ryan Walsh, NBC Springfield, Mass. Can I get your thoughts on Joey Logano finally getting out here this weekend? And does he remind you of yourself at all when you first got into the Cup?
I wish. No, he's hyped up way more than me and has more talent and experience than me, you know, at that age. It's pretty impressive what he's been able to accomplish and do. I think he's great for our sport. It's a little bit soon, I think, for him to become a full-time Cup driver, but you got to look at the situation, and there was really no other option for Gibbs and for him. So you know, he'll get a quick start, and I think he'll do very well. I mean, just looking at the practice times last week in Richmond, you know, he was impressive right out of the box. You know, and these days you don't have the luxury of testing like you used to as a rookie. You could go and test a lot of these tracks before you went and raced at them, and you don't have that anymore. So it's going to be even tougher on him, and I think he'll live up to it. I think his last week or when maybe it was this week, what he's going to do on the racetrack, I think, is going to be the easiest part of it, and I think he'll do well with that. It's how he handles everything off the track that's going to be the biggest challenge.
Jim?
Yes, Jim Pedley with the Kansas City Star. Jeff, in past years, Talladega, perhaps Martinsville have been considered X-factor races in the Chase. But because nobody's tested at Kansas this year with his car, could Kansas become an X-factor race in this?
Yes and no. I mean, I think Chicago is fairly close to Kansas. We've run some mile and a halves this year. Kansas a little bit flatter, and everybody tests at Kentucky. And if I could compare Kentucky to any track that's on our schedule, the closest one is Kansas. The grip level is less, but the banking is probably the closest. So I don't think it's that big of a X factor.
Go ahead, Tony. Do you have a question? Yes. Tony, and then Jerry, and then we'll close it out.
Tony Fabrizio, Tampa Tribune. Jeff, nobody in this sport runs the 100-yard dash or swims the 1,500 meters. Is it possible and acceptable for the drug policy in this sport to allow for steroids, performance-enhancing drugs, with exceptions for medical treatments?
Oh, really? You throwing me into that one, huh? My opinion on that is that I've read one article on it, and what I saw was, illegal drugs, abuse of drugs, and performance-enhancing drugs being the real things and issues that NASCAR wants to prevent from being a part of this sport. So, we haven't really thought of our sport as being a sport that performance-enhancing drugs can play out. But I think that what you've got to think about is a little bit more of is there something that's going to help you think clearer and better, more so than build your muscles up. It's not as physical of a sport as it is a mental sport. So, is there a steroid or a drug out there, that could be prescribed to you to help you with that? If that's the case, that could be considered performance enhancing. Beyond that, I think that this subject needs to be looked at, this particular one needs to be pretty lenient. I don't see where there's any real issue. I think we're going to make way more of this one with Hornaday than needs to be. I think that it sounds to me, from what I've heard, he's got some legitimate reasons of, and I don't think they've been helping. I don't think they've been helping his performance. That's, so I just think that, the drug policy is working in our series. But I think that we need to maybe do a little bit more random testing just to make sure that, you can't always go off of just speculation of whether guys are look like they're using something they shouldn't be. I think sometimes you need to know for sure.
Final question.
Jerry Bonkowski, Yahoo Sports. Jeff, just to get your opinion on this, the chase format has changed a couple times already in the first 4 years. We're now in the 5th edition. Is this the right format, or would you like to see maybe some other changes? What I'm getting at is, again, several emails from readers that say guys who win a race should be in the chase, as well as the guys who are in the top 12. What would you think about that?
See, the only thing I'm disappointed is that we don't, eliminate a team, and vote them off after the first couple races. I'd like to see that. The chase is built for one reason. That's to keep the excitement, to make it highly competitive, to give that more of that playoff role. And I think that we have to be very careful with how that how we change and manipulate that as we go forward. I think it needs to be entertaining for the fans, and competitive for the competitors. Right now, I see it to be pretty well put together.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Jeff.
thank you.
Good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it.